Hello everyone, Turtlelagz here, bringing you another AFK journey video. Now today is the fourth and final Setsahara boss, which this time is limited to the Lightbearer faction as well as Phraesto. And guys, I'm sorry that I got this video out to you guys so late, although it might be a blessing in disguise because literally a couple minutes ago, if I was to show you here, this is my Discord server, by the way. If you guys want to join, you're welcome to click on the link in the description below. And here we cook up the latest and greatest team compositions across all different game modes, not just for Ravaged Realm, as you can see here, but for drill runs, arena, etc., etc. On Analytica, just a few minutes ago, they released this really nice visual which shows you the best Phraesto whale comp, as well as the best free-to-play comp. And what's interesting actually is the free-to-play comp in the middle here is actually the team that is performing the best on my district. Although I will showcase to you guys the Phraesto comp, which has gone through a lot of different iterations. Literally, the Lightbearer Setsahara Ravaged Realm mode has been out for, I want to say 16 to 18 hours as of this recording, and people are still cooking up new compositions, which is really interesting. And I think part of the reason why this is the case is just because Lightbearer has so many defensive options, not just with the heals provided by Rowan, but also the shielding provided by both Lucius and Corrin, as well as Phraesto offering some additional defensive and offensive capabilities. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to showcase these two, which I have found to be the highest performing teams. So that is what I'll do. As per usual, I'm going to first showcase to you guys the whale option. So let's get right to it. Now, this is a team that hasn't been used in my district yet. So I'm very excited to showcase this to you guys. Shout out to Nadine, who provided the information. Much love to you. He's a very, frequent contributor to my Discord server, which I greatly appreciate, playing the game AFK Journey on a very high level. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So I was actually trying to cook up a similar iteration before he came up with this really refined version, which I think is able to perform thanks to the combination of Lucius's repetitive shielding, as well as the evocation spell providing shielding from the first spirit, as well as leech rate with the third spirit. Now, the way this team works, it's really cool. Basically, you have Lucius, who is a shield bot, who is also able to provide, with a season skill, a haste boost, as well as a damage dealt boost by the entire party at the 10-second mark, as well as the 40-second mark. And then you have the main Phraesto, and I'm clicking on these heroes so you can check out my charms, which I feel are the most optimal charms. The main Phraesto is going to provide 14% energy regeneration to the ally behind him, which in this case is going to be the highest damage dealer, Merrily. And so Merrily, this is the charm set that I'm rocking. Merrily, as you know, is a true damage dealer who deals very high damage. And then you have Cassidy, providing the Blessing of Tidal Strength. And let me show you the charm set here. She actually puts up some really high damage as well, thanks to her Blessing of Tidal Strength. And then finally, we have the surprise damage dealer, Mariel. And Mariel is great because she is also able to contribute high amounts of damage. Not as much as Merrily and Cassidy, however, compared to the other heroes who we have at our disposal. She definitely deals, she's kind of like a sub DPS, if you will. And then we have on side 2, we have Tamesia, who, thanks to her season skill, is able to increase the physical damage taken by Setsahara by 20%. And of course, you're going to jam the other two highest damage dealing physical attackers on this side, which will be Corrin, who, thanks to his shielding, is capable of keeping the heroes alive without the need of a light heal spell or a traditional healer. Then you have Vala also doing some damage as well. So without further ado, let's get right into it. And for those of you guys who haven't watched my previous videos, let's say you're a new viewer to my channel, welcome. Basically, Setsahara's kit composes of two different modes. One is where, as you see before you, he kind of cyclones everyone into a quicksand and kind of goes up dealing damage to everyone. And then he also has this attack where he slams down at the group with the largest group of allies, I should say, and then he stuns the allies for 3 seconds. And that's pretty much it. Setsahara's kit is very simple. So you see how, thanks to the combination of the evocation spell as well as Lucius, we're able to jam in as many DPSs as we can without the need of a healer like Rowan. There were past iterations where we had Rowan And I would say the Rowan team probably did perform on par with the free-to-play comp. You know, I was kind of okay. So 16.97 bill. I'm sorry, almost 17 bill damage. Now side two, if memory serves me right, puts up about 10 bill, at least for my account. So I expect to get about 27 bill points. Which, if that's the case, that would actually be a new record for me, which is pretty awesome. Yeah, I was before the start of this recording, instead of Mariel, I was running a Rowan variation, and I scored about like 25.7 bill, which was a new record for me. So definitely swapping Rowan with a Mariel makes it actually performs better. So let's see here. We have 24 seconds left. We're almost at the 8 bill mark. So I think we're on track to score about 10 bill, which will be really awesome. And it's really incredible that, you know, with just Corin, everybody's able to stay alive. Okay, 10 bill damage. So this is going to be a new personal best. Very nice. Okay, yeah, so 27 bill. Now, if I show you the scoreboard here, as you can see, my Cassidy and Marilee do about the same amount of damage. It's really surprising that my Cassidy, even though she's only EX15, is doing more damage than Marilee. And then you have Mariel, I should say, doing about half as much damage as Mariel and than Cassidy and Marilee. And then Phraesto actually puts up a decent amount of damage, doing about a third of the damage that Cassidy and Marilee are able to dish out. And as you can see here, both Corin and Vala do about the same amount of damage, and Tamesia actually puts up good numbers herself, doing about 2/3 of the damage that Corin and Vala dish out. So that's the whale comp, and I would say this is the most refined because I've done about maybe 8 attacks at this point, trying all sorts of different Phraesto variations as well as the free-to-play variations, and I think this definitely is the most refined Phraesto variation. So yeah, let's go ahead and share that. And then now we're going to do the other team comp, the free-to-play team comp, which a lot of people were rocking on my district. So this is the free-to-play team comp. So basically what's going on here is that you're moving the physical damage dealers to side 1, and then you have the magic damage dealers on side 2. And here you'll notice a huge difference, which is that we have a healer here, and we opted to go with the Crescent spell, which is able to do some damage with the orbs being thrown at Setsahara, as well as some magic defense shred every time the blue orb is launched at Setsahara. And then here you're pretty much introducing the best physical damage dealers in the form of Corin, Marilee, Vala, and Tamesia. And there's 2 different options you can go with. You can either go with the Quick Blade spell or the Evocation spell. Personally, I found the Quick Blade spell to perform a little bit better because we literally have 5 physical attackers on this team, and Lucius does a good enough job to where you don't really need anything besides his heals to keep the team alive. So let's get into this. And I would say that this mode is probably the best mode for free-to-plays, just because owning a Phraesto doesn't necessarily give you a huge advantage. I think Phraesto teams, an optimal Phraesto team is what allows you to get maybe like an extra 1 bill to 2 bill points, but that's not really a huge difference between like a rank 1 player and a rank, a rank 20 player. But I should mention that on my district in particular, the free-to-play option is scoring higher. Like, I think people are scoring at the high end 30 bill. But as you can see here, for side 1, we are on track to score about 17 bill, which I want to say is on par with the Phraesto team. I think it's side 2, though, that will drop in damage, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so 17.2 bill. That's actually a little bit higher than the Phraesto comp. So I'm curious to see how this team will perform. I believe the leaders of my district have a more invested Mariel than I do. My Mariel is only EX5, although she is Supreme Plus, which is quite nice. But for those of you guys who are like me, where you're pretty much strapped on temporal essences and you're using them very strategically and not on really niche heroes like Mariel, then I expect you to score about the same as me, which is going to be about, I think, 9 to 10 bill on this side. Yeah, and actually, if that's the case, this might be a new personal best for me if it's 10 bill. Although I do see my damage. Oh, okay, maybe I'll score 10 bill. Oh, we crossed it. I think this is a new best. Yeah, because I think I scored a flat 27 bill. Oh my god, this is so interesting. I think at the end of the day, there's a lot of RNG involved here. But as you can see, Merrily puts up the highest numbers. I think, yeah, and then it seems to me whichever team that you put the heroes on, they do roughly about the same number of damage that they usually do. I do notice the Tamisia's damage dropped a little bit on this side. Could have just been RNG. And then on the other side, Cassidy does, actually I think she did less damage here. But Muriel, I think there's a lot of RNG with the numbers, but everyone does about the same amount of damage as they usually do. So anyways, and this is the charm set for my Rowan, in case you guys are curious. That wraps it up for this video. As I mentioned before, I do have a Discord channel if you want to check it out. Here you can find the latest strategies for all the different game modes. We have almost 700 members. I think we have like 698 members, maybe 700 by the time this recording gets out. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video.